Good afternoon. We've come to expect the unexpected over the last few days at the Players' Championship finals. New stars have emerged, big names have been sent packing, and with 5 different winners in the last 5 years, it's a tournament that certainly springs the odd surprise.
It's that Minehead experience, the Players' Championship finals. The place will be absolutely rocking.
What a player the boy is!
On the night of his life.
The asset is doing the business. The prize asset. Paul Mickelson is your champion for 2010.
Magnificent! Sensational stuff from Kevin Painter! Inspired darts from the artist. Darts of fire. Brilliant! Double 16 to win the Players' Championship from Butlins. My word, what a checkout that is! And he does it! Sheer class. Great finish. Phil Taylor regains the Players' Championship. Oh yes, Michael van Gerwen with an absolutely breathtaking display. Michael van Gerwen has turned off the power in Minehead. Anderson's on it. What a phenomenal finish, just brilliant. He's got it. Anderson, what a way to do it. Gary Anderson has done it. He is the Players' Champion.
But Gary's gone home. Will we get another new winner of the Players' Championship finals this year? Michael van Gerwen, the only man in the last 8 who's had his mitts on the trophy before. Well, let's have a look at how the lineup is for the quarter-finals this afternoon. First up, Suljovic. He earned his place with an impressive 10-3 second-round win against Michael Smith, while his opponent, Ian White, hedged a 10-9 thriller against Gerwin Price. Then is another 6th seed, Adrian Lewis against Simon Whitlock. He had to hold his nerve to see off number 3 seed, Peter Wright. That was an absolute classic. It was another 10-9. And then game 3 features the man to beat, Michael van Gerwen. He's up against number 8 seed, Dave Chisnell. Then last but not least, it's the 2 young darting bucks. Benito van der Pas, he caused an upset against James Wade yesterday. And Daryl Gurney, he only went and knocked out the defending champion and the world champion, Gary Anderson. All these quarter-final games, the best of 19, or the first to 10 if you prefer. Alan's up here with me. We were saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Only one player remaining in the draw that's actually won this tournament before. What does that tell us about what we've seen here?
Well, there's 3 or 4 players that people wouldn't have thought had got to this stage, but they've earned the right. It kind of throws these kind of things up, this tournament, because some of the top players in the world rankings get pitched against each other in the first or second round, like we saw with Gary Anderson and Phil Taylor. So it gives other players the opportunity, but they're still got to do it on the day. 3 or 4 players, it could be a massive weekend for them.
Yeah, big surprise to some people would have been to see Daryl Gurney reaching this stage, and particularly knocking Gary Anderson out 10-4. And afterwards he said, I was rubbish, despite the fact that I beat Gary Anderson. I
think he was trying to bull himself up because he played so well in his first round game against Kim Huybrechts. Probably one of the players of the round, to be fair to him, and he carried it on into this match, but didn't play as to the level he had in the first one. But Gary just wasn't there at all, to be fair. 86 average. I don't think I've ever seen Gary have an 86 average on TV for a long time. He got behind early and just struggled all the way through it and just couldn't get back.
Well, in stark contrast to Gary's form yesterday was Benito van der Pas. We know he's got talent.
Yeah.
But do we expect such clinical precision from him with his finishing?
Well, yesterday was impeccable against James Wade. I mean, he's playing one of the top players in the world and possibly one of the favourites for the tournament, but he just never missed a double early on in the match, and he gave himself such a big platform. Despite James still averaging 100, he couldn't get back into the game.
His finishing stats are 70% for the tournament.
Well, if you can do that all the way through, you're going to give yourself the biggest chance ever, because his scoring's always going to be pretty good anyway. But if you've got stats like that for finishing, you've got a chance of winning. We
saw a fair bit of emotion on the stage yesterday, none more so than from the Aussie, Simon Whitlock, and finishing Peter Wright, who, you know, on the deciding leg as well, and bearing in mind that he beat Wright, who's so
close to winning last weekend. There was a lot of emotion on that game, wasn't there? I mean, it was such a good game from Peter Wright, and Simon just stuck with him all the way. He didn't play his best, but he stuck with him, got his chance, got level, and then that last leg, the emotion and, I mean, missed doubles, it kind of had everything. But for Simon's point of view, I think everybody was pleased for him to get through there, because he's had a turbulent 18 months. he's not played bad, but not got the results. So that emotion was really not just because of the day, but the last 18 months, and he's deserved it, to be fair to him.
Really interesting to see whether he can keep that up today. And then Ian White, we saw a heck of a lot of emotion from him. Fairly unusual from him in the way that
it's very
he finished the game yesterday.
Isn't it? Yeah, he really gave me some welly at the end there, but that was really the relief because he was in control of the match all the way through. But Gerwin just kept with him and kept with him, similar to what Simon Whitlock did. But then all of a sudden, he had to win the last 2 legs and had to pull out all the punches, including that finish there, to get through. And you know, that's not like Ian, is he? He's normally cool, calm and collective, and he just let rip.
Yeah,
great.
He's no MVG, is it? Yeah, it's really good to see. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Well, you got to miss the first man on the hockey this afternoon. It's the Austrian Mensur Suljovic, the man mountain, with a very unorthodox throwing style. We dispatched Ned Bolting and our very own doctor of darts, Mr. Mason, to make their diagnosis.
Well, definitely one of the most idiosyncratic throws in the whole business belongs to the gentle Mensur Suljovic, whose English is not quite as good as his darts, so some of this will be in German. Mensur, deine Technik, du drehst immer die Pfeile mit den Fingern so. You turn your darts with the fingers like that. Dartitis was the reason why you developed that technique.
Ich habe leider Probleme gehabt, 95, 96, wenn nicht 97, 3 Jahre habe ich Probleme gehabt.
So for 3 years he struggled, about 20 years ago, with dartitis.
Und ich habe versucht, alles Mögliche. Ich wollte unbedingt immer ganz oben dabei zu sein und das ist immer ein Problem, nur im Kopf.
Yeah. Psychological problem, really ambitious, wanted to improve, but up here it wasn't working.
Korrekt, ja. Wir wollen viel zu viel erreichen mit wenig Training. Das geht nicht. Wir müssen viel mehr trainieren, dann passiert sowas nicht.
Yeah, so you really felt that he had to train and work out a technique to get over it. So he's very fidgety on the stage and doesn't stand still. Das ist wirksam, aber ungewöhnlich. It's effective but unusual.
Korrekt, alle Spieler schauen immer ruhiger aus und spielen wirklich schnell und mit Konzentration. Ich fokussiere mich nur auf mein Spiel. Ich weiß, was ich kann und ich muss mein Spiel reinbringen. Wenn ich das nicht schaffe, dann habe ich keine Chance. Deswegen schaut immer so aus, dass ich langsam spiele oder das ist nicht so. Ich arbeite nur auf mein Spiel.
Yeah, I mean, Munster's just saying I throw slowly and I just have to do it the way I do it and concentrate on my game, and that's the only way I know. Mensur, can you throw some darts for us and let's have a look at that in action. And in the meantime, Chris, just come over here and I mean, Mensur's action is deeply unusual, isn't it? There really aren't many players who have quite as much going on as this fella.
Yeah, I mean, in the past we've had it. You've had someone called Kerry Morgan who had a really strange throw. And it just what suits, and it. I mean, I didn't say anything about it in commentary because I wasn't 100% sure, because obviously me and Mensur don't sit down and have coffee together because it'd be a little difficult. I didn't do German in school. I didn't do school. But yeah, it was down to the dartitis. So that finger, the trigger, as I call it, that just helps him poise himself, get some balance, and get some feel. And that was due to having dartitis. Merv King was the same. Those scallop darts he used were purely developed. So when he drew the dart back, he would roll it in his fingers, and he found if he did that action, he could get the full release. Yeah. And that's what's behind it. And I suppose he was very slow early on, and that's just composure. There's a lot of pressure up there, you know, and you know, obviously there's a little bit of tactics in there somewhere. But yeah, you know, it sort of makes sense when you get the background information on it. It now makes sense of why he does those things, because dartitis, there's not many people that can go up there. You know, it was the end for Eric, basically, dartitis. He just couldn't let them go in one smooth action, and that's why this is developed.
Fascinating stuff. Thank you very much, Chris and Mensur. Vielen Dank. Huh? That solves the mystery of the Suljovic fingers. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Cheers, Mensur.
Jawohl, sehr gut, Ned. Well, Suljovic's slow and deliberate style very much unsettled Michael Smith yesterday. I wonder what he's got planned today for Ian White. Whether there'll be any more tactics in there, we shall see. We'll have our first live quarter-final coming up right after the break. Here at Minehead, and it's time to watch some darts. Very Christmassy. Fabulous stuff. There's plenty more where that came from. A bit of Star Wars as well. That's less Christmassy. But our first quarter-final pits the number 7 seed Ian White from Stoke against the Austrian Mensur Suljovic. Over to our MC, John McDonald, to bring them in.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome. You've joined us live from Butlins, Minehead. A very warm welcome to the Cash Converters Players' Championship Finals, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation, and a very special welcome to our viewers joining us live on ITV Sport. The quarter-final stages, so let's meet the quarter-finalists. Ladies and gentlemen, the gentle Mensur Suljovic.
Wonder whether Ian White will be quite as animated today as he was yesterday. We shall see. Primed and ready in the commentary box for quarter-final one are Alan Warren-a-Little and John Rawling.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go. None more so than Ian White here. Seeded 7, 45 years old from Stoke. And he's had a couple of real close squeaks getting to this stage, beating Raymond van Barneveld and Gerwyn Price. And up against the very likeable Mensur Suljovic, who you saw his slightly unusual action profiled there, and it served him well. Counting for Mervyn King and Michael Smith by fairly big margins. Comes from a soft tip darting background, and for me he doesn't quite sort of pirouette on that front foot quite as much as he used to, Alan.
No, he used to do it quite a lot, didn't he? Particularly on the Pro Tour events. Used to see if you stood behind him, he used to get the kick on the old shins. But very impressive in both of his rounds, as you said, Ian White. Two very close encounters, but Mensur Suljovic, for me, the win against Michael Smith, you have to say, completely demolished a top 8 player and number 2 seed in this event. So looking good for Mensur.
Ian White, the slight betting favourite. Russ Bray, our referee for this one. White quoted at 6-4 on to win this. Suljovic even money, so as far as the bookies are concerned, it could be a long old haul.
Well, Ian White in his game yesterday, he looked in complete control of all the match until it got to the final phase. What kept happening, he was winning his throw really with ultimate ease and just couldn't break the throw. He'd have 3 darts at the double and miss, his opponent would win. And he went to that last penultimate end, the last 2 legs, but he got over the line, to be fair to him.
Suljovic has been on the tour since 2011. It's a good visit from White, and he had that soft tip dart background before. Have you played that game at all, Alan?
I have, not very well.
What's just for people when we're talking about it, people who are watching back home and you hear people referring to that, what's the difference?
Well, the main differences are the darts and the board. The board is a set board with holes in it which have grooves. The darts are plastic, they have a plastic end, and as you're throwing the dart, it obviously goes in a certain groove at a certain part of the board. The bullseye is very big. It's electronic scoreboard as well, which is done automatically, and the darts are very light. I think the heaviest they can be is about 18 or 19 grams.
So a different sort of set of circumstances for the players to get used to, I guess, when they make the switch. Interesting as well to hear that Suljovic was a dartitis sufferer. 43 years old now. There are a lot of moving parts when he goes to the hockey. But let's see if White can check out. Not this time. Suljovic well back though.
24. Well, not the visit he needed. He may have some time, but as we've seen so often, that can change very quickly. Suljovic yet to get into the scoring mode, so White will be hoping it doesn't start on this visit. Another one of those. Well, ton maybe not enough to put too much pressure on the 113 for the leg.
Treble 20, the first thing he's looking at. Treble 19 now for double 18.
53.
Little squeak here for Suljovic.
Well, almost tidied up, but not quite. So Suljovic has an attempt at a 1-4-1. He's taken out some big finishes over the last 2 days. It's not going to happen on this occasion. But going for these finishes early on in the match, John, they're always difficult because you've not got into the finishing double mode.
Came close to a 9-darter yesterday. Mensur did. Tops then for White for the first blood in this match, and nicely tied it up.
Yeah, always good to hit that double with the first dart, as I mentioned just before. It's not the best leg in the world, but he got there.
First to 10, taking a place in the semi-finals here.
16.
Quarter-finals. Well, the previous winner in those 8 names is Michael van Gerwen. I wonder if we're going to have a surprise winner here.
Well, we've had 2 in the past with Kevin Painter and Paul Nicholson, who got their first TV win. Big day for Sunday, John.
Indeed. And a big prize as well, 65,000 quid for the winner here. Not bad for a weekend's work.
Well, it gets you that title as well, because you're always going to...
Ranking points.
Well, everything else that comes with it. There's a whole goodie bag. Christmas will come early.
84.
A few players who are not established big names have performed really well here already this weekend. Next matchup's an interesting one after this. Got a couple who've got Daryl Gurney and Benito van der Pas, A.D. Lewis and Simon Whitlock. Whitlock back as a winner. Didn't that mean a lot to him yesterday?
Yeah, it really did. Could see the emotion coming out. As I mentioned at the start of the show, that was more of the emotion of the last 18 months than the actual match.
So White, great first start. Treble 17 would leave the bullseye. But he's well clear. He'll get another 3.
Well, Mensah here started his first 2 games really quickly. He hasn't really got out of the blocks. This is better, but White has got a chance to break through already in this match.
So 64 for 2-0. 43 remaining. 11 would be double 16. Well, he got it first time last time. Now Suljovic with a chance to respond.
Well, it is a miss, but how big is the miss? Suljovic 72, normally pretty cool and calm on these occasions. Should stay there. Double 16. Oh, as cool as you like. Well, he hasn't really been in the match, but it's 1-1, and the growl tells you the story.
Yeah, he liked that one, didn't he? Tidy little 72 checkout.
Well, it's good to see from both players, although the scoring hasn't quite been there to the standard that they've both played over the last 2 days, but hitting the double with the first dart, both players.
Oh, that's more what Suljovic will say, that's my norm. And it's what he's been doing prior to this match and settling down visibly.
78.
Yeah, he's turned into a different player, hasn't he? He really has, over the last 6-8 months. Some fantastic runs in the majors and the other TV events.
I'll tell you what, Alan, he has... It would be interesting to pick out some footage of a few years ago and compare it with now, because I'm convinced that there's significant changes in that Suljovic action.
I'm sure there is.
This is the technique, but it's more the way in which the balance transfers from onto the front foot. Nowadays, there you see the back leg on the 3rd dart going up, but more often he's keeping those feet planted there, and once upon a time the back leg used to go up every time.
It did, yeah. I like the old finger there. It looks like he's typing.
81.
Conventional wisdom. There you see that back leg coming up?
Yeah, he's very animated in his action.
Just checking where he's at. Treble 20 he needs. He's got it for double 18 for 116. Best check out of the match so far if he gets it.
80.
Oh, not happy with that one, Mensah. Ian White with a bit of work to do to hold throw. 102. Should start with treble 20. Hasn't hit it. May stay there or bull. He stayed there for double 11 to the left. Good thinking from White, but not a great last start, a long way off there.
That was a little shabby. Double 18 now for Suljovic for a break against the throw. Big moment this for the Serbian-born Austrian. Oh, well done indeed. He looks charged up today, doesn't he?
Yeah, 2 out of 3 on the doubles. Didn't start the first leg particularly well, but since then, well into his stride. A maximum, hitting the double pretty quickly.
He's known around the sport as one of the gentlemen, and very much a gentle soul, hence the nickname.
He's named his bar after his nickname as well, hasn't he?
Is that right?
That's what somebody said. I've never been there.
Was that in Vienna?
Ah, Vienna.
Could be. I can feel. Yeah, steady on, Alan. That's a little bit early in the day for singing.
Yeah. Everybody else is subdued in the audience. Long 2 days for the crowd. They'll slowly start spilling in. We get the normal subdued Sunday afternoon.
There'll be a few songs later on, I don't doubt. Plenty of people recovering from the should we say, the demands of last night in the traditional manner. It's already getting a bit liquid out there. There you go.
Yeah, there's quite a few people in the old Christmas outfits and the fancy dress.
There was a Santa fun run around Minehead today.
I saw that this morning, yeah. Incredible. There's a lot of kids there. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Lovely. Well, that's as good as a maximum from Suljovic. Great darts.
Well, Ian White in danger here.
44.
3-1 down.
139.
Playing nicely, Suljovic. White kind of almost, well, he got there almost by default against Van Barneveld and only just edged past Gerwin Price. Suljovic, though, is providing a really tough test here, and that's a great checkout. 139.
Well, we said earlier he's taken out some fantastic finishes over the last 2 days. 102 average, 139 now, a maximum. All looking good. Big leg this for Ian White. If he doesn't take this one, he'll be in real trouble.
Yeah, 4-1 psychologically. Okay, there's still a way to go. First to 10, but the 3-leg margin, another break against the throw, would be massive for Suljovic at this stage.
Well, from Suljovic's point of view, the first 2 games he's had, he's won at a canter, really, 10-3 and 6-1, where Ian White has had 2 close games and 1 last leg decider. So if it does get closer, you would feel he would have a better chance. But he's got to watch it.
There are a lot of Santas around today, as we're seeing when we look at the audience. Christmas jumpers. It's not even December yet. Surely one from last year.
Ooh. Well, right in the middle of the ball there. We was looking at which way he was going to go, and he just fires one in the middle.
Looking up the board this time. Oh no.
89.
Onto the 25. He's got a 20 though. There you go. No finish, and no finish for White either.
Ooh. Needs something here.
49.
Whoopsie daisy. So Suljovic 182.
Yeah, taking his time again. It's been a big feature of his recent game, hasn't it? Not particularly a game plan, just keeping his composure.
Well, he'll wait until he's ready. It seemed to get to Michael Smith yesterday, but once he actually gets up to the hockey and starts throwing, it just takes time between. And he's got a great chance now. Potential 2-dart checkout for 4-1.
Well, good setup from White, but Suljovic has been good on the doubles. 3 out of 4. Yep. Treble 17 and leave double 8. But if he hits a single, he's got a dart at the bull. Bull it is for 4-1. Ooh, long way off.
Yes, that was a big opportunity. And so White returns, surely to clean it up. Can't be a bad marker. Very good. First one, only the minimal adjustment after that. More or less had to follow the line. In it popped. And Suljovic at the first interval, leading the 7th seed Ian White by 3 legs to 2, but he does have the break. Suljovic leads, his best moment so far, this 139 checkout, which was darts of the very highest order. We've seen some terrific darts here this weekend. Suljovic has been right at the forefront of it and is in a good position with the break of darts. There have been some imponderables this weekend as well. I think the performance of Vladimir Klitschko might be one of them, and also the performance yesterday of Gary Anderson, who was amazingly off touch against Daryl Gurney. He's just tweeted saying he's upset. He's tried to jump in the lake, but he apologises because he's missed.
Yeah, that's Gary. Loves his little quips. Yeah, I'll be disappointed about yesterday. He knows he can play a lot. Well, we all know he can play a lot better than that. Just wasn't his day. But a good chance for Suljovic here to get to another semi-final. He's really starting to rise up the PDC order of merit.
Grand Prix, wasn't it, where he got to the semi-final in Dublin back in October. And he's had some good performances, hasn't he, around the circuit?
Yeah, he's a very, very tough player to beat, but he's added to his game now. The big finishes, the 139 we've just seen. Composure, takes his time, doesn't let anybody rush him.
White needs the break back. That last dart, his arm was all over the place.
His body seems to fly in all directions, doesn't it, during throw?
Particularly on the last dart.
Yeah, the last one is the...
First two is relatively conventional, and the third one can go all over the place. Look, there goes the back leg.
Yeah, a bit of a flick there. Another flick there.
On for a 140 maybe.
And then the arm, look in the air, arms all over the place.
But it works.
Then he turns into Mr. Floppy walking back. That's his style. It's pretty effective.
Leading to him moving up well through the rankings. So 117 here for 4-2.
Triple 19. Yes. Tops for 4-2. Oh, yes, says Mensah. He's telling everybody in the crowd it's in.
And Ian White finding it hard to respond to that sort of thing. He was sitting on 65 and very much looking as though he might have won the leg, but Mensah's got rid of 139, 117 and 72 as well. He's finishing really well. 4 out of 6 doubles, 67%, and if he keeps that up, he's going to be very, very hard to overturn.
Well, that's why he's rising up the rankings, because players can't cope with it. Solid performance, big finishes, taking out pressure shots as well, and those legs make such a difference to a match. If he'd have missed it, White would have had a chance for 3-3. but he keeps ahead, keeps in front. Hard to chase.
He can jump all over White's throw now. Another big hit here, and White's under the cosh again and staring down the barrel of another potential break. Oh, that's unlucky.
95.
Well, he started off against Michael Smith yesterday, didn't he? 5-0 ahead against one of the top players in the world. Michael Smith came back at him a little bit, but then he started rolling off leg after leg and eventually won 10-3.
He's a very phlegmatic sort of individual, isn't he? Doesn't seem to get too fazed by the occasion, and he can produce darts like this. It's unlucky again.
Yeah, he seemed to launch that last one as if it was from 10'4". This is better from White. This is fantastic from White.
His first maximum. White's poised on 41, but well, we know what Suljovic requires. 141, the classic 9-dart checkout stage. Not this time.
Yeah, he missed double 18, didn't he, for the 141? Should go back up to the 20s. Treble would leave double.
65.
How much does White need this? 9 double 16. Fat 9 to start off. Pair of 16s. Now this is a big dart. Oh dear, and he knows it.
Ooh. Now then, how costly will that be? We've seen Suljovic's double attempts, 4 out of 6. It's at 117, a 139, but this 76 is very, very important. And he's going for his favourite double 14. Oh, he's missed it this time, so down for double 7. Oh, now then, we didn't expect him to miss the 14, but he has.
Can't believe he's done that. He clasps his hands together in frustration and remonstrating with himself as he makes his way back and pays the price as White checks out in a leg which, to be quite honest, Suljovic had every opportunity to have won. White gets away with it.
Well, yeah, he did throw 2 darts to the double first, and then threw the ball back in Suljovic's court, who then had 2 himself.
100.
That's how games can change. But fair play to Ian White. He's sticking with Mensah Suljovic at the moment, and as I said before, he's been involved in 2 very close encounters.
58.
Last leg deciders against Price and Barney.
Adrian Lewis and Simon Whitlock poised backstage, going through final preparations for the next match you'll be seeing.
Yeah, 2 superheroes. There's plenty in the audience. I'm sure there's a few more people in the same situation tomorrow morning, John.
Long drive back.
Not us, obviously.
Cancelling tomorrow for all apart from travelling.
I should be up in Coventry
100.
for the last 2 places, the World Championship qualifier. Can't have days off.
It's not the easiest run back to Lincolnshire, I tell you.
I prefer to go in a car.
Oh, ho ho, very droll. So Alan, have an early night, can't you?
Yes, very early. 3 early nights.
Suljovic looking to go 5-3 ahead, and he's got a lot of time. White way back on 303.
Well, he's left 31, but he'd be very happy with the visit. White can't do anything here, so Suljovic's got plenty of time. He wants to have a clean kill.
47.
Well, he's got 6 darts at it at least.
Well, he missed those 2 darts in that last leg, so he wants to make amends in this one and hit it cleanly.
14s. Let's move the wire there.
Oh, 3 scores.
Well, we know he's coming back and he's missed it, but he's disappointed for certainly that fact, because he missed 2 darts in the previous leg. He's just missed 2 more, and that may come into effect later on in the match when he has to hit it. And he has to hit it now, for White hits a maximum.
His second maximum of the match. Suljovic 4 doubles out of 10, and this time in it goes.
Mensah Suljovic, 9th leg, Ian to throw first. Game on.
Oh, a smile off Ian White there.
So,
How did you used to react, Alan, when somebody did that? You used to give him a bit of a stare, didn't you? I don't remember too many gentle smiles from you.
134.
yes, I was rather annoyed is the word you could use without going too far into it.
Truculent.
And that's another word.
I can almost say combative, something like that.
39.
I'll tell you what was good to see. We're seeing it there from Mensah there. It's great to see that because people want to see that. The fans, the people in the audience, at home. But it was great to see Ian White do that after his game against Gerwyn Price yesterday. Really let rip.
It's one of the big reasons why Van Gerwen's got himself such a following now, isn't it? The trademark roars and facial expressions. Might upset one or two, but it certainly draws attention to his game.
Yeah, people like to see you react to situations, don't they? They like to see the normality.
45.
Well, they don't just like seeing people go through the motions. They like to see some passion, don't they, in any sport?
Passion is the big word, John. Absolutely.
45.
Ooh, bad visit there. Well, bad 3 visits.
White on the throw. Important factor for Suljovic at this stage is that he still has that all-important break. First to 10. 5-3 up.
60.
So White looking pretty good on throw. To get within one leg again. Can he get level? He's got to do the job here first. 1-2-2 doesn't necessarily need to go for the bull route, so should, you would think, stay on the 20s. That's not a good shot. Triple 19 and leave it. Well, recovered in the end.
Handy last start. And Suljovic way back. He's trying to post something significant to put a bit of pressure on White, and he's not really able to do that. That last dart helped.
He's left 160. He probably won't be expecting a shot, but you never know. Well, there you go. 5-4.
Ian White won the Players' Championship in Dublin last month, and he's had a decent season in qualification for this championship here this weekend.
Yeah, he's a very solid performer on the floor events. Always seems to get to the latter stages.
Nothing like coming prepared, is there?
Oh, he's making an attempt on the Suljovic throw. Important as well, because if he can get back to 5-5, he will go in at the next break. Very much the happy of the two players. Mensah's having none of it.
Hello.
He's got to reply. White has to reply, and reply very well he does. So he's making an attempt despite the maximum from Suljovic.
It's an important leg, this one. 5-all as opposed to 6-4. It's a psychological boost if Suljovic on the throw is able to close this out. Touch unlucky with that one. You saw him lurch right forward as he threw that one.
Now, it's not a bad shot, but what it does is give Ian White a chance here to leave something better. Well, he's got 139 left, Suljovic. He took that out in leg 4, but it is one of those finishes where you have to hit 2 trebles.
Well, he knows what to do. He's already done it once. And just composing himself. He'll wait until he's absolutely ready. Needs 2 trebles, as Alan's told you. And there's one of them. Treble 19 leaves double 11. Can't do it this time.
Not this time. So Ian White has given himself the opportunity. After 9 darts, he's left 121. Hasn't hit the treble 20, so it has to be treble 17. It's not happened. Slight disappointment in the eye flicker there from White.
Suljovic 5 doubles out of 11 so far. None more important than this one. Tops for 6-4. Fine dart. Yes, I like that one. I'm here for business. And Ian White, with the break against him, has it to do. He can't just get back at the big, gentle fella from Austria. Mensah Suljovic leads 6-4. bookies found it hard to split these two prior to this first quarter-final. Ian White was a slight favourite, but Mensur Suljovic, the pride of Vienna, is 6-4 up against Stokes Ian White, and he's got the break, that double 20 just before the interval. Not only been a double top, but it was an important one.
Yeah, very important going into that break, because it just keeps Ian White at bay. So Ian White has to start making his move pretty soon. Well, Jamie Caven giving us a wave. Led in the first round. Lovely lad, Jamie. Top professional.
Good bloke. Suljovic was looking for his third maximum, but 140 not a bad consolation.
Well, the switch may have been preferable, but still a good visit. Ian White's been pretty steady, you have to say, but not as solid as he has been over the last 12 months, certainly on the Pro Tour events.
Ian's third big quarter-final, got to the quarters of the World Match Play and the World Grand Prix this season, and there is that maximum that Suljovic was looking for. He's come back flying.
Well, Ian White in danger again. Well, White going down for the 19s, back up, can't leave a finish now. That's why he went down for the 19s with the first one, just gave him a few more options.
No finish for Suljovic, he's on 181, but if he goes and hammers the big numbers again now, White's throw will be under massive pressure.
Well, if you can leave 181 after 6 darts in every leg, you're going to give yourself tons of chances. You're really making your opponent have to play well or have a 12 darter or less on throw.
65.
116 remaining.
Oh, has to hit the red bit with the last one. Oh, now then.
Great opportunities for Suljovic to get another break. 116, and again just taking his time. A couple of cries of support from the crowd. Has the drink, steadies himself, and now ready to go. He'll start looking at the 20s. Great first dart. 16 leaves tops for 116. How good is his finishing here? He's had a 139, a 117, and now a 116, and he's got another break. Only needs 3 more legs now, and he's through to the semis.
He is very, very impressive from Mensur Suljovic. Yeah, he likes that one, does Mensur. Waltzing towards the finishing line.
That's the Austrian connection, in case we didn't get it. I'm just working on explaining
I know it's Sunday afternoon,
Waters'
John,
flights of fancy.
You need to wake up pretty quickly.
Going all Johann Strauss on us. Having had a bit of mid-jure earlier on.
I'm in full cry, as is Ian White. He needs more of that. Good visit. His third maximum. He's got to keep the high scoring to give himself as many opportunities as possible to claw his way back into this match.
What a response. What a great response that is.
Well, Ian White started the leg with a maximum and still behind. So it just shows you the level that Mensur Suljovic is playing at the moment. Finishing well, scoring well. Very hard to beat, John.
Suljovic has been so impressive this weekend. Checkouts in particularly have been really of the highest quality in this match. His average is just over the 100 mark or thereabouts, just under now.
60.
I was not happy with that one, but it's the timing. We use the word timing a lot, but it is the timing, because you're not allowing your opponent a visit to the board by hitting those big finishes, with that, certainly with that last dart. He's done it on 4 occasions in this match. 139, 116, 117, and then a 76 earlier on.
Do with a treble here. Can't find it. And so White is on 130. This is a real opportunity with Suljovic on 141. Treble 20 would leave the bullseye. Now cometh the hour. And the man on this occasion doesn't deliver.
Well, he's missed it, but he's still got an opportunity. Suljovic, well, he's left 1-4-1 quite a lot of occasions over the weekend. Obviously the 1-4-1 for the 9-darter, as you remember.
34. I wonder if he'll go 2 double 16.
No, go straight for it.
Well,
oh.
26.
When you're in front, you'll probably go for 2 double 16. When you're behind, you kind of feel in your head you have to go for it.
Suljovic then gets the chance to check out, and the way he's been finishing, you'd certainly fancy that he's going to do this. 51. Double 16 now. And his finishing has been really good to him. He knows that he got away with that one a little bit, but the 51, quality once more to add to a whole stack of big solid checkouts on top of that. 8-4.
Well, he's just not allowing his opponent back to the board. Ian White was unlucky there.
99.
But big opportunity for 34. You'd expect him to have been a little bit closer than he was. But when you're behind, they are harder to hit.
2 legs now is all that's needed. I kind of thought this match, when we were looking at it and thinking ahead this morning, thought it might be one of those nip and tuck long affairs. Might still be, I suppose, but Ian White's got an awful lot to do. Needs more of this. Maximum number 4.
Yeah, good dart from White. On throw, hit the maximum in the last leg. Had a dart at the bull, and then 3 more at the double and missed it.
99.
That's happened in a few of the legs.
Suljovic's checkout percentage is still 57%. Anything over 40 these players are pretty happy with, but 57 is high quality.
94.
Yeah, very impressive, you have to say. Triple 18 here, may go back to the 20s. No, he's gone back to the 20s. That's why players start on the 18. 4 18s gives them that even number to leave another treble, to leave the 170, but not this time.
Good darts, double 4.
124.
Still got time though.
Well, puff of the cheeks there, but it was a good attempt. He's almost stood back there, feeling he's under pressure despite a good visit, giving himself a come on. You know Suljovic is going to be on something, and on something he is.
That is his 4th, the 8th of the match in total. This is a big ask now. Double 1, needs this big time.
Well, what a good double 1 that was. The pressure on him there. Hardest double on the board to get, because you can't split it.
Well, the old taxi would have been starting to rev up, wouldn't it, if he'd missed that?
But Suljovic throwing first. Has to make an attempt to break throw.
Nicely colour coordinated.
I don't know where Wally is. Suljovic is up there on stage, playing his heart out, looking very good for a place in his second TV semi-final this year. Really will rise him up the rankings, give him a lot of confidence. Basically, players won't want to play him because they know he's playing well. He's difficult to play because of his pace. They want to avoid.
If he gets through this match, and it's looking as though he will, he'll play either A.D. Lewis or Simon Whitlock in the semi-finals. That's the next matchup.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. A.D.'s been pretty good over the last 3-4 months. And that great win yesterday by Simon Whitlock.
A.D. Lewis has won the bull-up back in the practice room, and he'll have first throw when that match comes to the stage.
Well, Suljovic looking to set up something decent here, and he's making a good attempt at it. Treble 20 will leave, double 16. 100 leaves 72. So again, White having to work extra hard.
Somebody there wanting Chris's autograph. He's always only too happy to oblige.
100.
So Suljovic, 72 now for 9-5. Look at the way he composes himself, gets himself absolutely focused. White's on a finish as well. And this would put him absolutely on the brink. Another one for double 16 for 9-5. Oh, hasn't he done that so impressively? The list goes on. 139, 117, 116, a couple of 72s, a 51. His finishing has been top draw.
Well, it certainly has. Those last dart, how many times has he won a leg by hitting the double with the last dart? It must be 6 of the 9 legs, maybe 7.
Yeah, and you were telling me earlier on, when you're up against somebody who's consistently doing that, it nags away at you and it hurts.
Well, what happens as well is when you do eventually get a throw at the double, you're not expecting it and you're almost on the back foot and you can end up missing. Happened to Ian White before when he had 3 darts at double 17, because it wasn't really very close.
What an emphatic performance this is so far from Suljovic.
140.
Hasn't quite happened for Ian today. He's averaged 95, but 5 out of 15 is checkouts, as opposed to 9 out of 15 for Mensah, who's got big finishes when it's really counted.
Yeah, that's been the obvious difference. For Ian White, he's played pretty solid, hasn't played bad, missed 1 or 2 opportunities. This could be his 5th 180. 5th 180 it is. He's still fighting away. From Mensah Suljovic's point of view, it hasn't been a one-off. He's playing like this since day one, since the first round.
Mervyn King, 6-1 in the first round. Michael Smith, 10-3 in the second. And now White needs this to at least make sure that he's going to get 6.
Well, he missed a treble 10, but a single 15 will tidy up. So looking to pull another leg back. Well, will he hit? Well, 140 will certainly make Ian White think a little bit.
Couple of 16s then. Not a lot of pressure there, and doing what's required. 9-6. The gap narrows, but with breaks to play with, Suljovic now looking to serve it out for victory.
Well, at this point, Mensah Suljovic will just be keeping calm, plodding on, trying to do what he's done in the whole match. From Ian White's point of view, he'll be thinking, I need to make a big effort here, and hoping he doesn't hear the scorer shout, something like that.
Great start from Suljovic.
Got to hit it now. Good last one. Just keeps him on the shirt tail, but that's been the story of the match. He's been behind from the first leg. He won the first one, but since then it's been the Mensah Suljovic show. Really has.
Big arena slowly starting to fill up.
Yeah, there we go.
Terrific in here when it's full. 5,000 it holds, and it will be rocking, I think, by the time Michael van Gerwen gets in against Dave Chisnall in the 3rd of the quarterfinals.
That's better from White. Keeps him there. Yes, they've all had the late breakfasts and their first beverage, ready for the afternoon and evening's play. May go for 18s here, because 4 18s would leave the 170. Could go back to the treble 20 now if he wanted to.
58.
Just thinking about his finishing, so he's keeping his composure. He's thinking about the leg, wanting to get over the line. Well, that's
just a minimal stumble there, maybe seeing that line, but White's helping him.
That doesn't help in any way possible. Well, what Mensah's done there is he's realised that this is not just the opportunity because he's 9-6 ahead, but a mistake there from White He knows in the next 2 visits he could be shaking his hand.
What he would give for 140 here to leave him on 64. Another treble, lipstick time. Go there, went across to the 18.
Yeah, I didn't like the light because the second dart went above, so it's dropped that first dart slightly, so he moved over to the 18s, but it's still looking good. All he has to do is keep his composure. Unless White comes out with something magical,
he's not on a finish. Not on a finish. So Suljovic has got 6 darts from here for 10-6. I'm ready. Get your head right, big fella. Now here he comes, looking for a 106 checkout.
Well, the review of the match has been a story of these kind of finishes, John.
It has.
Would be fitting to do it on the last leg.
Oh, he couldn't quite get the treble 18, so he's got time though.
Well, it's disappointing. He's just adding up there, just keeping his composure, asking the referee what he needs. He probably knows, but he's just making sure and just taking his time. Doesn't want to make a mistake.
Had plenty of options there, but he's left himself on 52, which is as nice as you like. But next time he comes back, one would suspect it's going to have to be a must-take. Although, having said that, White could badly do with a treble here.
60.
Only 60, so Suljovic homing in on 52 for a place in the semi-finals later this evening. Taking his time. It's been a good performance so far. Can he just end it with this visit?
Double 16 then for the match. For Mensur Suljovic, well, his finishing has been so good, and look at that. Clenches his fists in joy, punches the ground, and yes, that means a lot to him. He's found his way into the semi-finals. He is performing as well as he has ever done. He's into the last 4. Who's it going to be? He's going to be playing A.D. Lewis and Simon Whitlock next up. But he's beaten Ian White emphatically. Yes, I've enjoyed it. 10-6.
The fine year of Mensur Suljovic continues. He's followed up his semi-final appearance at the World Grand Prix by reaching the semis here in Minehead. 10-6 winner over the world number 9, Ian White. That's what it means to him. Mensur averaging over 97 with 4 180s, a 63% checkout rate, but 100% success on double tops and double 16. White averaging 95. He had the same number of double attempts as Suljovic, 16, but he hit only 6 of them. And the Austrian will now meet either A.D. Lewis or Simon Whitlock in the semis this evening. And Ned's reflecting on that match with both Mensur and Ian.
Plenty to reflect on in that match as well, and mixed feelings in Stoke and Vienna. I'll start with you, Ian. Frustrated once again, but Mensur such a difficult opponent in all sorts of different ways.
He is. He's hard to play against. You know what you're going to get with Mensur, so you've got to go up and do what you can. And I found it very hard. But that's the way Mensur throws, and you throw in every dart as if it's your first 3 every time. So. And I missed crucial doubles at certain times where they could have won an odd leg or 2, which could have made a difference. But no, well done to Mensur.
He's a difficult opponent, und Mensur, das hat sehr viel bedeutet. Man sah das am Ende. It meant a lot to you, Mensur, and we saw that at the end, the way you celebrated.
Das hat viel bedeutet. Ich habe gegen Jan 3-mal hintereinander verloren und jetzt habe ich gewonnen.
So 3 times you've lost to Ian White, one after the other, and now finally you've beaten him.
In Dublin habe ich verloren 6-5. He missed 116. er hat mich geschlagen und es ist gut, aber ich bin so happy. Ich habe mir gedacht, wenn ich diese Leg nicht gewinne, dann verliere ich 100%.
Yeah, so it all hinged on that, that leg that you had to win, and you thought if you didn't win that, you're definitely going to lose. Du stehst jetzt im Halbfinale, you're in the semi-final, schon wieder, once more. This is a great year for you, ein tolles Jahr.
Ja, tolles Jahr, das ist meine Stadt. Ich werde nur da wohnen und da spielen, ich glaube.
Yeah, he's fallen in love with Minehead. That's pretty much it. Menzel, congratulations. We'll see you later. Wir sehen uns später. Und Ian, commiserations. But well done to both of you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
We've all fallen in love with mine.